My balls, when I stopped doing steroids, it was like a raisin,
Wow. Like literally.
a little raisin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ron Oliver. I am the CEO and founder of Elite Dynamic Life. We are a lifestyle and health and fitness company. We specialize in natural immunity, natural anti-aging, health and fitness, of course, and age reversal, and helping men and women balance their hormones. And today, I have a special guest, a friend and a client who came to me about 6 months ago with a serious issue with his testosterone and his health in general. And long story short, Danny's going to give you the details, but what happened was he was a young athlete in his teenage years, working out and running every day and playing hockey. And by the time he hit 18, he just got into the wrong crowd and he got sucked into using steroids and lots of partying, did a ton of drugs. It destroyed his body, and it made him unable to function as a man at 44. He felt like an 80-year-old, and his body was not working, including his testosterone production, growth hormone, IGF levels, and it made him extremely tired. So he couldn't even work a full-time job, couldn't train anymore, couldn't do exercise, just exhausted all the time, and tons of confusion from the brain fog of all the toxins that had gone through his blood-brain barrier. Not to mention, he had 2 heart attacks, he had cancer twice, and he had a blood clot in his brain. He almost died more than once. So without further ado, why don't you share with the people your incredible story, because I believe it's going to help a lot of people wake up from their toxic lifestyle and give people hope that even though you did all of that to your body's miraculous ability was to rebuild itself, and you're gaining your health back in leaps and bounds.
Hi, I'm Danny Bissinet. Thank you, Ron, for explaining. Yeah, I used to be a hockey player at 16 years old. I was really in good shape. I was doing jogging every day, 5.5 kilometers a day. I was training every day. I was at the top of my shape. I was really good shape. I used to be player. I was playing junior major, and at the age of 18 years old, I start drinking, going to bar with friends, and start doing some steroids. I was not a good crowd, and you get the influence of people. And I did a tons of steroids and drugs. I did the speed and cocaine. Well, I'm not proud of that, but I was extremely on my health. So today I have a lot of impact from that. And at the age of 22, I had a heart attack. At 26, I had another heart attacks. And at the age of 40, no, 38 years old, 39, I have a burnout. I have a big burnout. It takes 5 years to recovery. And between that, I have skin cancer. So I had skin cancer, and another year after it came back extremely aggressive. So I have to change all my food, and I lose a lot of energy. My testosterone was so low, I can't get it high for a year. So I have to take a lot of products to get a little bit more testosterone, but it didn't work. And before I met you, I tried to work 5 times a day. I can't even to work 5 times a day. I was doing three, two to one to five, and I can't even go to the gym because I was too tired. I was feeling like 80 years old. And now, I meet you, and you explain me how bad my my health. You did a test blood, and I saw it, but with my eyes what's going on, and my health
Yes.
was really bad.
Well, we did a live blood morphology analysis, and we showed you your blood under the microscope. Microscopes don't lie, and
Hmm.
neither does the blood. So we were able to see exactly the state of your blood, which tells us the state of your health. Now, with testosterone in males, all male mammals produce testosterone in the testicles. That's why they're called testicles, because those are the factories for testosterone production. And testosterone is extremely important for male health, not just libido and muscle health, but many, many things. Let them know how bad your libido was and your ability to exercise Let them know how bad it was.
When I stopped doing steroids because I had to stop because my health wasn't bad. It doesn't help me anymore because it's getting you're getting energy for that, but I was too low because of my burnout and my cancer, so I have to stop quickly the steroids. And for a year, I can stand up for a year, so my libido was really low. And after that, for take a year to recovery of that, but my testosterone was still low, you know. And when I meet you, you detox me, and you I did everything you told me, and it works. Like it works. Like my testosterone right now, I could tell you, I feel like 16 years old of energy and testosterone.
Now, people, without being too graphic, to be realistic in layman's terms, when men do steroids, then they inject synthetic testosterone in their body, or they use some type of steroid, they use a cream or a pill. What happens is your body recognizes this increase of these hormones. And then when there's already a problem of testosterone production with the testicles of the man, then the body stops producing testosterone altogether because the body knows that this stuff is coming into the bloodstream another way. So what happens is that everybody knows this who's a doctor, and everybody knows this who does steroids. The testicles shrink because the factories just stop producing all together, and they lose their libido, and eventually they get burnt out and they can't even get an erection. That's why they have to take Cialis and Viagra just to, have intercourse with their wife. But testosterone is very important for physical health of a man, mental, emotional health. In fact, men with low testosterone levels have an 88% increase in mortality rate. It's a very big disaster. It's destroying our nations having such low testosterone. In fact, America and Canada has the lowest testosterone levels on average in the world. Mm-hmm. So it's a huge problem. And the real issue is it's not just steroids and it's not just other drugs. Like Danny did a tremendous amount of steroids, a tremendous amount of other drugs that people do in bars to party. That's not all. There's also forever chemicals, microplastics, heavy metal toxicity, processed foods. There's many things that cause this. There's low cellular energy, there's toxicity, cellular toxicity, and malnutrition. So all of those things contributed to Danny's decline in testosterone production and good health, but it was also the abuse of steroids. Now, I'm not someone that can recommend TRT or any of these things at all because of the side effects. And all you have to do is go to drugs.com, punch in testosterone, Viagra, Cialis, put in growth hormone, anything you want, and look at the side effects and decide if this is what you want to do. So with Danny, what we did was we put him on a healthy hydration detoxification protocol, got him on a really healthy, clean diet of whole foods that would benefit and help him in the production of testosterone naturally. And Danny, being a guy that knows training, because he used to be a personal trainer, he also knows ways to exercise that can help naturally stimulate testosterone. Now, without sounding too crude or rude, just be open and honest like we talked about earlier, if you will, and just let them know how much your testicles actually shrank from taking steroids from 18 to 35 years old.
Yeah, my testosterone was so low, and well, my balls, when I stopped doing steroids, it was like a raisin.
Wow, like literally.
A little raisin.
Wow. And they've grown significantly since we started working together, and you've been detoxifying and eating much different, right?
Oh, yeah. It changed a lot.
So they've more than doubled, you were saying?
More than double.
That is good news.
It's really good.
And now your wife's happy again, right?
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, again, not to be rude or crude or sound weird, but when you pay attention to male mammals, if you look at a 30-pound dog and you look at the size of his testicles, if you look at an 80-pound dog, you'll see they're considerably larger. Then you can look at a 140-pound dog, they're much bigger. That's because a bigger body needs more testosterone production. Then you look at a 500-pound boar, and their testicles are much bigger than that big dog. Then if you go and look at a male horse that weighs like 1,000 pounds, a huge horse, much bigger again. You look at a 1,800-pound bull, they're massive. Their testicles are humongous. And then you go look at a rhino or a male lion, bigger and bigger and bigger. So because we're mammals, we're men, if we want to be healthy, we want natural, healthy production of testosterone, our testicles should be the same size of the dog of our weight or another mammal of our weight. So for me, being a pretty big guy, if you're a 220, 240-pound guy, you have a 120-pound dog, male dog, your testicles should be twice the size. In fact, before we were able to test for hormones in our blood, before modern scientific testing was available, when a man would go to the doctor for a checkup, the doctor would say, drop your drawers, and he would gently grab a hold of the man's sack with the doctor's gloves on, and he would get you to cough. And he would want to see the size of your testicles. Then he would lift up to see how much they weigh. This is how they would know if you had a testosterone production problem. So this is what you needed to know. They don't really talk about this in this modern world, but that's the fastest way to know if you have an issue. Just look up all the symptoms of low testosterone, and it's easy to find. Look at the side effects of taking unnatural testosterone. And if you want to solve the problem, you need to learn how to detoxify your body and get on a more anabolic diet of healthy whole foods that can help you build back up your health, your manhood. And there's ways you can train that will stimulate testosterone production. And there's also known supplements that are proven to as much as double your testosterone levels. So feel free to reach out. Our website is elitedynamiclife.com. Just fill out the contact form. Ask us any questions you want if you're serious about discussing your health. And if you have serious health issues, you can fill out our health evaluation form. We're more than happy to review your information and get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, Danny, for tuning in today. Before we go, let us know, how much younger do you feel today rather than when I met you? It's been 6 months. You felt like you're in your 80s. How energetic and young do you feel now?
I feel like 16 years old now, right now.
And you're not doing any TRT or anything at all. You're all
Nothing.
natural, correct?
Natural.
And your body's bounced back a lot, very fast, but you look radically different than you did when I met you 6 months ago. You look like a totally different person.
Oh yeah, I am.
This is awesome. So your marriage is doing way better because now you can be intimate with your wife as often as you want, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas before, it got so bad because of the steroids and all the drugs. How many Viagra did you have to take to try to get an erection?
Minimum 2 to 3. Sometimes I go to 5.
Wow. That's a serious issue, which of course is not healthy either. So thank you so much for having the courage to share the hardcore truth, because I know that testosterone is a huge issue. We have a male testosterone crisis in North America, and there's a ton of men with this problem. About half of men over 40 have erectile dysfunction. And, you know, the way they're going with drugs is not the answer if they actually want to become healthy and live a long life. So thank you so much for sharing. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Y'all have a blessed day. Take care. Peace.
Peace.